Welcome back to Kushka Garage, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I know I am, because I am working on Old Pig, the Alaskan Overland rig. Pig's a 2001 LB7 Duramax GMC Sierra 3500 crew cab long bed dually with a freshly rebuilt camper on the back of it. And today we are doing door pins, at least on one side, because my driver's side, it's getting a little stuck and it's sagging down pretty low because all the bushings are blown out. So I picked these up on Amazon for a pretty decent price. We'll hope that they are good. It kind of seems like no matter what you look at, OEM or otherwise, that all these door pins tend to shear or otherwise get damaged. They're made out of pretty soft metal, and that was like that with my old Chevy too, my 92, which had a completely different pin system, but all the pins just seem to be pretty weak. There might be a reason for it, or they might just be cheaping out. I don't know. But there's a couple ways we can do this. Let me show you. Okay, so here's the door in question. There's going to be, it looks like 3 10 mils. One on the top. You got one there. That's where it is. And one at the bottom. And you can disconnect this if you want to. And if you're removing the door completely, you probably should. And you do that by disconnecting the wiring harness from the inside here. That'll free it up. But I think I'm going to be a little tricky. I'm going to pull out my cherry picker. I'm going to roll down the window. I'm going to hook the cherry picker up to the door, and then I'm just going to hydraulically lift it up. And that way it'll just be dangling there while I change out the pins. And hopefully that works. So I'm going to go ahead, roll down the window, get my cherry picker rigged up, and get to it. Well, on second thought, my cherry picker idea is not going to work because I'd want to wrap it around the door and break my rain visor. So I'm going to go old school and disconnect this here. The wire. Let me just pull that out very gingerly. I'll use both hands, but I'll unplug that, and that'll allow me to feed through here. So this isn't held on to anything. I got one extra wire, which looks like it's just a ground. So this is probably something auxiliary. Looks like there's a wire cut. So I'm not sure what was going on here. At some point somebody did something, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this disconnected so that I can free it up down here. Oh, sorry, I left you out of the grand pole here, but this pin was rusted on. Thought I had some, I don't know what the hell was going on. Thought I had like some kind of special pin or something that needed to be fought, or a clip needed to be pulled or something, but nope, it was just severely rusted. But you can see why my doors are flopping around. It's not too bad. This bottom one is shot, but I have some replacements here, so I'm going to go ahead and pull those nuts and get the new hardware swapped on. Okay, not sure what's holding this thing on so much anymore, so I'm just gonna kind of pound it out, I guess. That one is pretty free. I don't see C-clips or anything, so I think it's just in there. Oh. Yep, just pressed in. So that one's out. Okay, so no C-clips, they're just pressed in. So we just pop those out. We'll go ahead and do the bottom one next. Alright, there's the culprit right there. It's my bottom bushing. Completely worn through. And the pin is pretty worn through as well. Okay, I'm going to do some reassembly here. Put this all back together. And get all these old bushings and pieces out first. Still got a chunk here. The top bushings and pins are actually not too bad, but we're not going to reuse them, of course, because we already got the door off. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up and get to reinstalling. Okay, one thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to hit everything with a little bit of grease. Okay, got it back in there more or less how I want it. Essentially, you want the splines to be touching this bracket here. So that's why the spline, the pin with the splines on bottom go on top, and the pin with the splines on top go on bottom so that they fit in. Got our washer and our locking nut in place, hand tight, and I am ready to cinch it down. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tighten these down. I got a 14 millimeter for the top, 13 millimeter for the bottom, and then I'm just going to work those on. I don't know how much you'll be able to see really. Let me see here. Or get an idea. Okay, got the door back on there. Was having some difficulty getting it all by myself, so I phoned a buddy and he helped me out. And now the pins are on. It's a lot more stable, and the door opens and closes on its own. Or not on its own, but with ease. The door's not sagging anymore. Not really any effort. So pretty straightforward procedure, kind of a hefty door, but all you really got to do is disconnect that, feed it through here, and you got one 10 millimeter down here, one right here, one right there, and then the door can lift directly off the pins. And then you can take your, I think it's a 13 millimeter, and pull the nuts off of the bottoms there. And then those pins just pop right out. And then installation's the same in reverse, pretty straightforward. But super happy with it, glad that's done. Say anyone can do the job, really. If I didn't have this rain visor, I would have been able to use my cherry picker just to lift the door up and then set it back down. That would have made things a little easier. Easier with a buddy to help you out, getting the door aligned. Sure, I would have been able to figure it out on my own, but since I got a friend that lives a couple doors down, I was like, hey, need some help. So that worked out pretty good. Anyways, that's the job. Hope I helped you out in some way. Hope I showed you everything you needed to see. And happy to have this door opening and closing a lot easier without sagging and banging up the hinges. Did bang up the hinges pretty good there in the striker, and I'm having a hard time finding replacements. Look at my striker right there. It's pretty war-torn. The latch is pretty banged up. But now that it's all aligned and everything, it opens and closes just fine, so I'm not going to worry about it for the time being. Anyways, that's the job. I'm going to go find something else to get into and get the weekend started. So you have a good day, guys.